You want to know how to turn January's energy, the momentum that you have right now, into enrolled students. You definitely want to hang around for this video because I'm going to be showcasing and showing with you, showcasing and sharing with you the momentum playbook, how to keep new students coming into your school or academy all year long, and how to catapult off of that momentum. For those of you who are new here, maybe this is the first time interacting with me. My name is Jennifer Waters. I'm one of the co-founders of Seven Figure Dojo. I'm the active CEO. And I want to just help you guys be able to do what we did in our own school. You see, back when I first started, I was 18 years old and our school was not doing well. It was a family school. My dad started it back in the 80s. And at that point, we were only doing a few $1,000s a month. It was then that we made this shift. We made a shift in mindset and we started developing what we now call the seven figure dojo method. It took us from a few $1,000s a month to over seven figures, over $1 million a year. Now that's been 15 years since we first broke our first $1 million. And so the last 4 going on 5 years now, we've been working with clients all around the world, US, Canada, UK, and Australia, teaching, sharing, helping improve their overall marketing and their business systems to actually help scale their school or their academy. So today I want to walk you through how to use that momentum playbook that we've used in our own school. We're teaching to our other clients that's helping them hit really high 6-figure and 7-figure businesses. So first thing that we need to understand is that people are energized. You need to use that. You need to make sure that you also are energized because the amount of energy that you give out is usually the amount of energy that you get back. So make sure you're pumped as well. I know last year might have been a rough year, but this year we need to come into this going, okay, I've got something in different. I've got a different mindset. I'm going to go and I'm going to crush it. Now, because people have that new energy that they've received because the calendar flipped over, it's January now, and the old 24 is done, and there's this brand new shiny year in front of them. We can utilize that in several ways. One would be through our marketing. What are the things that you could be saying in your marketing, specifically talking about the new year or specifically talking about the new opportunities in front? You really want to keep using that New Year's terminology. I would say at least through, if you're here in the States, we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the 20th of January. I would keep working it all the way up until that holiday. So a good 2 solid weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks of utilizing that terminology in any kind of marketing that you're doing. The other thing that I would really highly recommend is you not only do this in January, because remember, we're talking about momentum and keeping this going throughout the year. So every time there is a new month, you need to think about, or a new season of the year, you need to think about using that in your messaging. So when February comes along, we're going to have Valentine's, so talk about it then. Spring, March and April, you're going to talk about spring. Summer, depending upon where you're located, that might start for you in May like it does for me, or it might be later in June, but you're going to want to talk about these things and utilize these things in your marketing messages. Now, again, beyond just utilizing these in messages, what is something that we can do every single month that's going to give us leverage and keep the momentum to generate more leads? And that's really going to be the triangle marketing matrix. Okay, so the triangle marketing matrix is like this. We want one internal event every month. Think about it like a triangle. So the bottom here and then the angles up on the sides. So one internal event every single month that is lead generating. That's your base. That's your foundation. Think about having a seminar, a parents' night out where they get to invite a friend, an open house, something that's at your school that your current students can come to, but they can invite a friend. So this is where your creative juices need to start coming in. Then we want to have 2 external events. Okay, so that's kind of like the sides of the triangle. We got the triangle here and then the 2 sides. So 2 external events. This is you getting outside of your school, going to a community event and collecting leads at that event. Okay, and sometimes I've heard from school owners like, there's nothing going on in January. I'm snowed in, I'm iced in. I understand there may not be something outside to go to. So you need to find what can you go to that's inside. How can you partner with other businesses? How can you physically have a table or a booth inside of a business that has foot traffic where you can generate leads? The goal is to target 2 every single month. Okay, so we've got the bottom, we've got the sides, and now we need to go on the outsides of those 3 lines. Okay, so we got 3 online sources of marketing. The way that I like to think about this is you want to have your paid Facebook and Instagram. So that's one. I want to have some paid advertising going on in order for cold leads who never heard about me to know about my school. Very important that you do that on those 2 platforms in particular, Facebook and Instagram. The other thing that you also want to have is you want to have a website. Okay. That website needs to be lead generating, not for your students. If you want a website for your students, it's called a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group. Don't worry about creating a separate website for your students unless you have some sort of membership with video training or things like that. It's just a waste of time otherwise. Your website is like the old days, having a brochure on your counter for that walk-in traffic. You had a real nice brochure. I know we used to have this back in the day, and you'd have it on your counter and it would talk a little bit about your programs and all that kind of stuff to energize that person and hopefully convert them. Which, by the way, looking back at this, you don't need a brochure. You just need to set the appointment if someone walks in your door. Like, teach them the lesson right then and there, or teach their kid the lesson right then and there and sign them up. We do that all the time. So, website, paid Facebook and Instagram, and then the third online source of marketing is going to be your organic marketing on Google My Business, updating your listing there, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, making sure that there's posts there. It's blanketing the community, and you begin really leveraging virality using organic social media. Okay. So those are going to be 2 things that are really important to do. Keep that momentum going. Talk about seasonal types of energy and changing as the season goes, and then using that triangle marketing matrix. Now, the third thing that's so important to keep this momentum going throughout the entire year is to focus on, as you enroll students, not losing them. Okay. You don't want to lose students. Every time that you're losing a student, it's just you're going to spend more time, more dollars trying to get a new one in the door. So, what do you need to do this week before the end of this week? I know it's Thursday. What do you need to do? You need to call everybody who has not come back yet for this week. Do not let the week end without getting a phone call into them and getting in touch with every single one of them and making sure they're scheduled to come back to classes. That Christmas break can really extend on out, and you can see a sharp decline in quit rate if you're not on top of it. So we got to make sure we're getting back in touch with them and we're getting them back in the door. The other thing that we also want to do is anchor your students back into your school by hosting an event. Remember, it goes back to our triangle marketing matrix. We have an internal event. They get to bring friends. That gets us leads. But we have the internal event, whether it's paid or it's free, so our students retain. So we keep our students. Okay. The third thing we want to do is want to make sure that we tell students what is happening next week. So when you're teaching classes, you're going to make sure you say, hey, guys, next week you want to come back to class because we're covering 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z, whatever it is. Create that excitement, create that buildup so that people will want to come back to class the following week. I'm actually going to try it out on you guys right now. You want to make sure that you are back watching the next training video, which is scheduled to drop next Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because next week we're talking about how to add crazy amounts of adult students to your